like development stuff, one of their subsidiaries of AIG. And then we did hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of multifamily, specifically targeting affordable housing, senior housing. That's kind of our niche. And then recession hit, AIG got bailed out, and that music kind of stopped. And then I had to find other investors, which is fine. And then we opened up we started doing assisted living. We started, we became a regional center, 2010, 2009-ish?
Yeah, around that time. That's when I started working with them.
We started raising EB5 capital, started doing, did a little shift from multifamily to assisted living. Not the most glorious type of business, but you feel like you are doing something good at the end of the day.
Growing demand, that's for sure. With all the baby boomers.
So the land development. Land development is what we're very good in, and it just really trying to maximize, really just reduce the amount of equity. Now, we used to bring in a lot of institutional equity into the deals, which is a lot of brain damage. So if you could avoid institutional equity, you want to avoid institutional equity.
Right.
They could come eat you one day. My favorite financing is HUD. Most people hate it, but it's the most difficult to get. But HUD doesn't want to own your properties. They just want their mortgage payment made.
Hi, Julia.
Hi, Julia. How you doing?
This is Andrew. Yes.
How you doing?
Andrew
Julia,
Hanna.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm late. No,
You're fine. Perfect timing.
So, but land development is what we love doing, and in terms of entitlements, we probably entitled, I don't know, between 150 to 200 projects in California.
Wow.
In 36 counties. Small towns. I've been in small town with population of like 3,000, 5,000. And then obviously we're in the big cities, San Diego, LA, San Francisco, I piss off a lot of cities.
Why?
Well, when I come in with a project, even if it's senior housing, and I said, well, I want to use state law. I'm not going to go with your city law. And then they're like, they retaliate against me, even though I could get the approvals and everything. They retaliate. So the cities and the city law and the state law. The state wants housing, right? They want a lot of housing.
Of course.
We're low in housing and everything, but it doesn't mean that the city likes the law, and then they retaliate against you.
I see.
Because we get density bonuses, we get height increase, we get exceptions on the setbacks, and all these exceptions, parking.
Yeah.
In some cases we don't have to provide parking, and cities are like, "What are you talking about?" We're like, "Are you serious? You're not providing parking? Well, okay, we're not going to be your friend anymore." We don't care that the state has those laws.
Right.
So, but it's worth it to push the limit sometimes, because when an owner thinks their property is worth X, but when you roll in all the state laws, it's worth this. Sometimes it's worth pushing the limits. It's just, you might not have a friend at the end of the day, but you get a project done.
Good. But at the end of the day, does the state law overrides the city?
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as there's no like special circumstance, like you don't have like a coastal commission, or you don't have some like serious environmental issue or some sort of danger, like some sort of danger to the neighbors because of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
But it does.
Oh, good to know.
It does.
Their experience from building ground
we
up.
used to sue cities.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, before we didn't have streamlining. City doesn't give me my entitlements, I sue them. Like, you're not giving me entitlement, I sue. And that doesn't go anywhere. You sue a city, that is just a waste of money. But now you got streamlined. You could, there are damages that they have to pay if they don't entitle the project from the state law. But obviously, you know, you want to be friends with the city if you can. If you can, but sometimes it's worth it to just really push density, and you could do very well.
Like how much have you been able to push them? Like
Say
it's
God.
10 units per acre.
Oh
what
my
could
God.
you get done?
Oh my God! I took a project in San Francisco from like 45 units to 288 units.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a huge push.
And the city is like, oh. And then they came to my meeting and they're telling all the residents, they're telling all the neighbors, he's going to get this approved because he's using, well, I don't know if we were using SB 35 or 17. We're using 1763.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was like, he's going to get approved no matter what. So, you guys could come here and sit here and complain about this tower next to you, but by state law, it's going to get approved.
Okay, good.
So that was one where we went into escrow for like 8 million. Probably the entitled value of that was very close to 30 million. And then I got the state gave me about 25 million of equity. And then I just got and then I have JP Morgan and Hunt were gonna be my institutional investors. And then they pulled the rug around COVID, and then I had a big shit show of lawsuits after that because we had a whole bunch of money in development, and I wasn't able to reposition the deals while we were going through inflation. Like inflation's up and interest rates are up, and it's just I had to walk away from a lot of deals, and then I'm ready to do it again.
Yeah.
That's what we do. As long as it doesn't kill you, you just go do it again.
Do it, yeah, keep doing it.
Yeah, we do a lot. So, yeah.
They have a song like "What doesn't break you make you stronger."
Yeah, it's all experience. So,
Would you care to sing it?
yeah, he's good at singing.
Is
Anyhow,
We did
yeah.
Alan and
He
Rick
knows I'm
Lobos.
kidding.
That happened to him in real life too. He drove a truck in the mountain, and then they flipped and almost killed him.
Yeah,
Broke
I
a lot of
survived
his-
though. Yeah, broke my back in 2 pieces. And
Yeah. Yeah.
They were able to sew me up, put plates in my foot and my back, and so I'm still here to survive. I think I have a mission to develop some more housing.
You okay though? No pain?
Oh yeah. I mean, I get it. If I walk long distances, I really don't have any pain from my back. It's more of the plates that are still in my foot that are just annoying. It's kind of like arthritis in your feet. So I need to take it out. But then once I take the metal out of my feet, I'll be probably back on one leg again for like a few months, just to let all of it heal. Yeah.
By itself, yeah.
Yeah. So here you have a lot of land.
Yeah.
And financing and knowing how to finance it, is our background. And we try to get as much leverage as we can and try to
Well, I don't know if we'll have what you want, but we can. We're more of a land banking, kind of the opposite of
Okay. That's
the
fine.
owners here have made their fortune just buying and holding land. They've never built anything in 50 years. Don't know anything about it.
That's okay. That's okay. That's a specialty, just buying land.
So they're good at finding good property in the path of growth, and most our buyers are small buyers, individual investors,
Yeah.
and they don't have the means to develop. They just hold the land and end up selling it to the developers later on. So I do have some that are, more prime, have utility. A lot of our land's still dirt roads, no utilities,
Yeah.
just ready for buying and holding.
Yeah.
But we do have some where we're just showing a couple guys that left earlier, like apartment, mixed use zoning.
Yeah.
Those would be good for assisted living, I would imagine. Maybe not right today, but down the road.
Assisted living, multifamily.
Andrew and Mia, you like
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate it. No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's kind of what they've done. 50 plus years of business, they kind of go from one area to the next. And I'll show this map to you. So you don't have to get up. This is where most our land is in the high desert in the Inland Empire. So right now we're selling the most here in the Victor Valley.
Okay.
And this is where Victorville, Hesperia, Apple Valley, 4 cities in red. And,
Okay. That's a good.
and then all this is government land. The green is national forest.
Yep.
The yellow is the BLM, which is government. So the growth has got to go here. And below this green is Rancho Cucamonga in Ontario, which already a couple million an acre and going up. And 20 years ago it was a fraction of that. The same
Yep.
thing is happening here. So, you know, we give them a presentation, educate them on what's going in, warehouses, where the rail stations are going, where all the housing developments are going, and then that gets people some confidence and certainty to buy and hold.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Then we find their budget, we show them, you know, with software, you can show them the land right here. Like these are some, I was just showing Alan, had some guys here earlier. Got 1, 2, 3 of these.
Okay.
This is a prep school, I don't think it's a high school, in Apple Valley. And these allow for half-acre home sites. So these are like 220 each, 220,000.
Okay.
Like 4 homes on them, so they're small
Yeah.
pieces, and we get people that buy them with their financing. Some pay cash, some buy with their IRA. We have people buying with
Okay.
self-directed
Good.
IRA.
Good.
We show them how to convert an old 401k or an existing IRA into a self-directed that allows them to buy real estate.
Yeah. There's.
And,
Have you seen that website? I forgot the name of the website. You put in your land, and it shows you all the state and federal programs that it qualifies for.
well, that I haven't done.
Oh, really?
What's it called? I
it's
gotta
a-
know that.
I'm gonna get you the website. It's
It's not
really
Land Glide, is it?
no.
Someone
you
else
gotta-
told me
you-
about that, but
You should take a look at it, and I haven't like dug into it in a deep enough sense to see how do you extract the money out of it, you know, because there's a whole bunch of different things. It's like, you know, it's reforestation, it's if you're in a fire area, if they want to do conservation, and they tell you how much they pay you per acre
Wow.
for that land, and then and so it's really interesting, and they some of it is co-funding. They're like, oh, we'll give you this amount of money if you put in this amount of money. So it's really interesting, and you put your land in the program, and it takes about maybe 20 minutes for it to come back to you and say, here are all the programs that your land is qualified for.
Wow. That's amazing. Is that a government website
of
or a
programs?
private entity?
Just a lot of it is government programs, like different government programs, like
funding or
incentives to either secure for a fire zone. They want you to plant certain trees. They want like all these different things. You either want to plant, they want to replant it. A lot of it's carbon related.
Hmm.
And so when you put it in there, you could see now it's beneficial for the larger acreage. So if you have like larger acreage, and then they tell you how much they pay per acre, per this, per
Wow.
that. They co-invest with this or that.
Very cool.
If you have like a solar site, they'll kind of put you in touch with the solar guys.
That's an interesting website.
Oh yeah, no, I'll give it to you. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's very
Yeah.
because
That's very helpful.
seems like there's some value. There's value there. You know, how do you extract that? How do you extract it and make that yourself?
Hmm.
So, but I'll share the website with you. So maybe you could also investigate into it and to see how we could
Yeah.
monopolize
We
on
don't
it.
have any big
Capitalize on
pieces
it.
per se. I think the biggest we have is like a 40 acres. But we buy for the individual in mind. We get a lot of moms and pops, you know, restaurant owner buying land and
Yeah.
just individuals
And there's,
that.
I mean, land is getting more and more. It's really becoming more and more. Like, I think right now. So there's a law that came out. I think you could put, is it 7 or 9 ADUs on a single family lot?
Something like that. If you
Wait, that many?
Yeah, and you don't even need a main house. It could be all ADUs.
Wow.
They got rid of the main house rule,
Wow.
and you could just do all ADUs. So, I
Wow.
mean, you could just have your small little rental community like instantly.
Yeah.
Is that already passed, the law?
I think it has. Yeah, that has.
Wow. Wow,
So
that's good to know.
the ADU obviously is getting more and more aggressive. They want you to put more ADUs if you have the space to do it.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely something to do there. I think I never got into the tiny home kind of like communities, but I've always been interested in like,
We just
You
had
know.
someone here that was interested.
Yeah, there
in
was a
that.
gentleman that was just here
Yeah.
this morning. He's into the tiny homes.
yeah.
So he was looking for the land to do tiny homes.
Oh, wait, what's his name?
Michael Tran. Yeah, he has a
So,
manufacturer in Vietnam that does
Okay.
the manufacturing. It's about
So-
450 feet, square feet.
So if he needs help on how to coordinate the manufacturing with the state of California,
Mm.
because you have to coordinate the manufacturing facility and make sure that they're approved, get the plans approved here, have a building inspector in their facility in whatever other country
Okay.
that they have. So there's a process to that.
That's a process.
Mhm.
But-
yeah.
It's not impossible.
Mm.
Because you don't want to, if you do tiny homes, you either want to just, you could buy them locally that are all HUD approved, kind of like tiny little mobile homes or whatever,
Mhm.
little mobile homes.
Mhm.
Right.
Or you could build them in a different country with the state cooperation, and it comes here and it's all approved. The only thing that you need approval for is the foundation from the city or county, and then
Yeah.
where you're gonna just drop them in.
Correct.
But
So we were just showing Michael a couple of our properties. They're zoned multifamily.
yeah,
So I guess that's what, it says on the zoning, 20 per acre density for townhome, condo, or apartment.
yeah,
I guess we could say tiny home qualifies as an
yeah.
apartment,
I think it does.
right?
It does.
I mean,
I think it does.
I think so.
No. I think you could do it under multifamily.
So we have one 5-acre piece in Apple Valley that's
Mhm.
$349,000 on the main road, Bear Valley. It's next to a.
How many
mobile
acres
home.
is that one? That's a
4.92.
okay. How far is are the utilities?
Pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to verify.
Is it a sewer or a septic?
There's sewer close down the street. There's a shopping center, so I know it's at least to there. And next door there's a mobile home park. I doubt they have sewer.
They may not.
may,
They
they
might
may
be
not.
a septic, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Sewer's
We
a
could- we
big
could-
cost, right?
we could look at this stuff. I mean, you have. We've always done sewer. Then there's septic, and then if you have a big enough solar array, you could do incineration of all your black water. Just have an incineration unit that just incinerates it. But there's a cost associated with that. But septic, if you don't have a sewer, it's really this easier
Yeah.
path is septic. But yeah, we could just, anything, multifamily, even, we could take a look at it. Obviously, if there's something sizable, we like the stuff that has more size. But this one you're talking about, you're saying it's 20 units per acre?
That's what it allows for.
Yeah.
Up Up to.
Up to 20. Now you could probably get some bonuses. The question is, are those bonuses are really going to be driven by some other factors? Whether it's a 35, whether 35% bonus, whether it's 100% bonus, whether it's several 100% bonus. Really depends on the
I didn't know
factor.
they did that.
I always thought if it says up to 20, it's going to be less than 20.
Oh no,
I didn't know that you could negotiate with the cities.
It's more. Yeah.
That's good to know. And then we've got an 8-acre piece on Highway 18 that's mixed use,
Yep.
which allows up to 30 per acre.
Okay.
And that one's $5.99. And I know the sewer is not there, but it's pretty close also.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
is there, and if there's anything with some, there's some really good density bonus provisions, depending on the location. We could take a look at it. Now, so a lot of the bonuses will require saying, okay, you want this bonus, you want that bonus, you got to give us, they want some affordable. And then all my properties are tax exempt. I don't pay any property taxes. Except for like supplemental tax. So there might be like few supplemental taxes. We put a nonprofit in the mixture of the ownership. And so that's another thing you could, there's, we really specialize in just making sure we don't have taxes.
yeah, that's amazing. I thought you had to be.
No. Out of the thousands of units, we pay very little property tax. Because you just, with the right structure, with the right this, with the right that, you don't pay property tax. Now, sometimes your affordable rents, when you rent a property, is the same as the market rents. So might as well make it tax-free.
Right.
But the way you make it one of the ways you make it tax-free, you got the city to be involved. They got to record a regulatory agreement on there. Your income is going to be restricted. Your rent's going to be restricted. But sometimes the rent is the same as the market rate, so might as well be tax-free.
Right.
And then you qualify for larger financing too, because you don't have property tax. It improves your NOI. You get a bigger loan. You could pay more for construction.
How about industrial? You do anything like that?
No. That's not my space. That is not my space.
Do you have a land that's suitable for
I might. I don't know. I could show them a couple. Just these few I'm talking about. Someone's gonna buy them. I don't know who yet. But
There's always a buyer. There's always a buyer.
Yeah, that's right.
let's clear this out. Let's see if I have an APN. This one is 8 acres.
Okay.
Mixed use, Apple Valley, Highway 18. Put the APN number.
You want, how big? 100, 200 acre?
That I don't have, but I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
We could take a look. I mean, what I try to, like, I've been through. Not conversion. Well, I did conversion impact reports, for mobile home parks, when you take them from mobile home parks to multifamily. The EIR studies. I try to avoid projects that need the EIR studies. Environmental impact reports. That just delays development by 1 or 2 years. So there's things that I try to avoid.
Right.
Just because this is the time. I mean,
So this one is this is the 8 acre here. It's on Highway 18. This little block is mixed use zoning.
okay.
Not much of it in that city. I've got the zoning map.
What city is that again?
This is in Apple Valley.
Apple
Over
Valley.
here you can see it's pretty full already. The growth's coming from the west to the east. As the 15 is over here.
Yeah.
So that's the piece. It's got frontage on the front and the back. This road here. So I know there's utilities. I just don't think it's sewer yet. I think the sewer ends here,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. But we could ask the city.
Yeah.
So they allow up to 30 units per acre plus commercial. don't have to do commercial, can do all residential, all
Okay.
commercial or combination.
Yeah. So that's it. I
And-
mean, it's,
and this-
you could put a lot of, sausage on that side.
And this piece next door is owned by someone in Anaheim, same zoning.
Okay.
And then the city owns this piece, town of Apple Valley.
Okay.
So this whole block was probably gonna end up being a mixed-use development. So we were only able to get the middle one. They bought it years ago.
Yeah, it looks like a good. I mean, we could just run some numbers, just development numbers, and just take a look at what,
Yeah,
just see what it looks like at. So
but I mean, something like this, in Corona, gosh,
Yeah.
we're talking a Rancho Cucamonga, 10, 15 million at least.
So what we do is we look at it from kind of. So as we go from a lower density to a higher density, right? There's this like equilibrium. So like you start with a lower density, which is like the least expensive construction. Call it 2-story on grade garden style.
Right.
It's like the cheapest, right? But 2-story on grade garden style is like 15 units an acre. Now you get to that 30 units an acre, 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever. But then now you're talking about 3 levels. Okay. Now 4 levels. Now we need an elevate. We need elevator buildings. So as we're going up and up and up, the construction goes up, and obviously we want to keep all the parking on grade. We don't want to be, subterranean parking in Apple Valley is just
Yeah.
cost prohibitive, and then so then you kind of hit this, wall of like, oh, it's not okay. This is really the maximum density. We could provide all the open space city needs, parking, coverage. But we could take a look at it and really see like how much.
This is the back of it. I mean, and there's the homes behind it here.
Yeah, but if we have,
So there's,
let's say,
looks like some, whatever that is, cable or
do you say that the
water
site is like
here.
500 grand?
$599.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
We should run a financial model. What I do is I run a financial model, see what it looks like, just from, I mean, obviously family apartments would be ideal.
Do we know how many story they're allowed to build up?
I
Well, it's
think
30,
that
you said
mixed use
30.
zoning is 35 feet. I'd have to double check
Yeah.
it. I think.
And then there's
What is that, 3-story or 2?
And then there's bonuses. Yeah, I mean it'd be 3 or 4. It'd be 3 or 4. So sometimes you just, if you try to squeeze obviously more units on a 3-story, you have less area for parking. So sometimes your height, drives your parking. So if you need to get more cars, sometimes you just need to build higher so you have more space for parking.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
so here's the zoning. We just have a brief description. We don't have the full-blown zoning here.
Yeah.
But I can get it on the city website. But 30 per acre, we don't mention the height.
So you could definitely get more than 30 per acre. You could get more than 30 per acre. At least 35%, but there's possibilities you could get much more. You just have to make it parking friendly. So figure out a way how you get where can you put the cars? Maybe is there a neighboring site that's maybe like a cheap site that's R1? You could just put the parking lot there.
I don't think there is on that one.
Yeah.
Is the government selling that land next to it?
City? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
It was a
Ellen,
big
is it,
parcel.
restaurant?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Right
Okay.
by the elevator.
Okay, perfect.
Then I don't know what their plan is.
That's a nice parcel.
Yeah, so altogether, this is like 80 acres.
Beautiful.
So think about that times 30 units, could be a lot. If somebody was able to buy all of it. So, that's just one. Then I'll show him the other couple I have when he comes back.
天也跟大一点，里面才跟大一点。
And then this piece, this is one of their private inventory, like I was telling you, where they don't sell.
What is that? How big is that?
This one is 13-acre commercial.
Nice.
You got
Beautiful.
street every
Wow.
all around surrounded by street.
So Julia,
But I don't know what they would want for that.
that parcel, the company owns it, 13 acres, but
See how
not,
they
they're not
own
selling
it in
it.
their private
This one?
name, R&R.
Yeah, yeah.
Selling it,
So that, no.
Right here, 13 acres. This is a beautiful site.
they wanna hold it
Yeah.
for longer time.
They've held it long enough.
Is it mixed use?
That one's commercial, CG,
Wow.
commercial general.
Tony, I mean Andrew. The company owns
That one
this
has sewer.
beautiful land.
Which
13
one?
acres. This one here,
Okay.
but they're not
The
releasing it.
bosses have like some in their private LLC, like those are ones they just hold themselves.
What's the?
And if they do sell those, they get all cash.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we could
And
look
they're
at
just
either.
waiting for a shopping center to approach. They don't need me to sell that one. I mean, but I mean, I bug them. Sometimes they release me some private ones. So in fact,
Yeah,
they
that's
just
a beautiful
released me
land.
one, but it's industrial. It's 10-acre with
Yeah.
sewer and everything.
Yeah. So is this? So this is the 13 acres. Is that is that industrial? Which one's
This
that?
one is commercial.
Commercial.
Yeah.
Now, commercial-
Commercial.
A lot of the
Shopping.
times we could do senior housing on commercial. So there's
Oh, that's true.
there's a possibility we could use.
I don't know what they would want for that one. I bet $4 million. I'm guessing.
And what city is this one?
This is Apple Valley. It's right down the road from that other 8-acre.
Oh, really?
Here's the 8-acre. So, but I know there's sewer here for sure. I think it may be further down now. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
So
I
we
know
could
it's
do,
at least to here.
we could do an analysis and just really see what the economics look like.
And that little piece is
Whether
like
it's
a
senior.
gas station
But they're
here.
not selling though.
Oh, they're not
Yeah.
selling that one. That's one they're not selling.
I mean, I could ask them if they would price it, but
I asked the owner last time. He also does joint venture sometimes with developer.
Oh, that's good.
He does
So Ron and
sometimes.
Randy are open to that.
So yeah, we could look at that too. So I think the
but
best
I
thing
sold
is
that
to,
one years ago for, and then she was Vietnamese,
Ah,
and looks like she sold it to the Mojave Water Agency, which is here.
oh.
They bought it from her.
Mhm. To expand the
I
water.
was expecting to see her name there, but no, gone.
Mhm.
So
She make a good profit.
yeah,
Let's move on.
so yeah, that's a great piece. I was just showing Alan because
Who's the big piece there next to it?
which one?
Yeah, that huge piece.
This one?
Yes.
Prime Healthcare
Ah,
from Ontario. Maybe they're gonna put some
60
senior
acres.
home. I don't know.
80 acres? 60?
60.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a big. It's
Yeah,
a big
it's huge.
property.
Yeah, I've sold a lot around this high school residential. I still have a few left there. And it's starting to come in, the homes around here. Finally. It's all about the sewer, you know. If there's no sewer there, it's, you know, someone's gonna have to put it in. And a small builder doesn't make sense. It's gotta be somebody big that assembles and
Yeah.
where it pencils out.
Yeah, sewers are
That's a nightmare.
extending. Yeah, well, and you have to look at the capacities too. So, they probably have capacities, but you still have to do before you get deep into development. You want to make sure that they can handle all of the sewage without having an upgrade to the sewer. Water pressure. You have to look about. They sometimes need to upgrade water pressure pumps.
This one is residential multifamily, 20 per acre.
Yeah.
5 acre.
You guys own that one?
Yeah, and it's right next to this manufactured
Okay.
mobile home.
So,
I don't know, I know there's some utility sewer, I'm not sure. Probably might have it,
I think
because
they
they
have it.
built a shopping
yeah,
here.
if you have multifamily there, well, you have the, it may or may not.
That
I
one's
mean,
$349.
okay. Yeah, it's
You know, these are low price, you know,
Yeah.
for what they are.
Mhm.
I don't know how you would lay it out on that piece. I think they would have to face, this is a road here. This road here,
yeah.
maybe face that way. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd probably put, probably put the parking on the lot, like, on the lot lines, and you have the building right up in the middle.
Yeah, so we had a few here I sold. Oh,
I don't know what the setbacks, how much space
you
you
see
have.
a lot of Asian names here, Feng, and this one I sold to Chinese. She was Polish last name, but she was Chinese. She bought for her grandson, wasn't even born yet. And they paid $339 cash for that one.
Mhm.
See,
Core, it sound like
I like the
Korean.
shape of this one better than this one, so I recommended her this one.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's
But,
good. I mean,
but
so
so-
yeah, the issues with the skinny one is just your setbacks.
Yeah,
You got your setbacks. So you could put the parking in the setbacks.
Yeah.
But then you put the building in the middle, and put like 16, 24 plexes or something.
the mobile home park every year contacts me. They want to buy it, but they want to buy subject to rezone,
Yeah, and that takes time.
and we don't want to sell a subject
No,
to.
no, no. That'll take forever.
Yeah,
Well, you don't know when, while they're submitting the
Well,
plan to rezone.
well, sometimes it's not just a rezone. Sometimes they have to change. They have to do general plan amendment as well.
Mhm.
It's not just. Sometimes not that easy.
Do you still work with Fiona Ma?
I mean, I'm not doing too much work with what I want to do is I want to fund a lot of projects right now, just with HUD,
Mm.
and then I'll go get the tax credits. I'll go back after tax credits again. It's just,
Okay. Good.
it's just the J.P. Morgan hunt pullout was just.
That was the San Francisco one, right?
Well, that was part of it. Yeah, no, I had. With San Francisco, I had 2 projects in San Mateo. I had one in Santa Barbara County, and then one in L.A. County, Long Beach.
Mm.
There's two in San Francisco, and it just.
Do you still need financing partner for those?
We could look at other. I mean, we could look at other ones. You have some financing guys.
Yeah, I know some people.
You have a lot of money, people.
Some
You know a lot of people.
I know some.
he does.
I know some.
He's bringing people every
Don't-
Tuesday and
don't-
Thursday. He's
don't-
filling
don't
his
you have
room
like
up.
You have like 100,000 followers, right? How many followers do you have now? 300,000.
I think 300 something, I think.
So Andrew, this is the Southern California Logistics Airport.
Yeah.
It's in Victorville. The city line is here. So this is actually from Adelanto Road over this way is Adelanto. But this used to be an Air Force base, George Air Force Base.
Yeah.
And it was closed years ago, and it is now a duty-free, tax-free U.S. Customs port of entry cargo airport.
Okay.
And they're bringing in 24,000 jobs. All these warehouses are coming in here like crazy. Like Amazon just built this one. Goodyear's building this one right now, over 1 million square feet. Covington Group is going to be adding a lot more warehouses. This is Rubbermaid, and
And is this a multi-family site?
this is just a big
Industrial.
area. GE's
Just
in
an-
here,
just
but
an
there's
air-
thousands and thousands of jobs. These workers are going to need housing and apartments.
Mhm.
We've got a 3-acre piece. This is one of the boss's private ones. You see R&R, so I can't finance. They want cash for this. But this is 529, 3 acres mixed use. It's right next to this baseball stadium. They do concerts and events, and there's sewer here. That's why it's a little more. And this is 3-acre mixed use. I don't know if that's too small, but
And what's the zoning on that one?
mixed use.
But with
You
the
can even
mixed
do
use,
hotel,
it
you
could-
can do all kinds of.
just a lot, probably just like conditional use permit. we could take a look at it. I mean, I think anything that has the potential for multifamily, we could take a look at it. If we're gonna run it, you know, our perfect, the way we like to operate is really, we go and we tie it up, we get the entitlements, we get the financing, then we close. That's, so it just has to make sense from a, obviously a cost, you know, us and the lender wanna know that there's a market, so as long as the cost's there, the market's there.
Yeah, I don't know if the market's there yet, but I know it will be.
Well, hopefully it's there. If it's there, there may be a market now. So
There might be.
if there's a market, because the bank only finances that, lenders only finance for the market today, not what they think the market's going to be in the future. But so they'll look at other properties in the area. Are there a waiting list for multifamily? Do they have a high vacancy? It's just.
Yeah.
They try to come up with some metrics, absorption rates, capture rates, and then just to see.
How about opportunity zone? Do you work in any of those? Because this is one.
So what's good about Opportunity Zone and some of the government programs, it brings you to the front of the list in terms of getting financing. It really expedites your financing. I know there's some other benefits of Opportunity Zone, tax benefits, but I'm more, I like the expedited financing part of it when using certain government programs.
So how fast are you talking about? What's the time cut?
It could reduce it quite a bit on some programs like, on an assisted living, a loan might take with the government maybe 12 months, it cuts it down to 6 or 5.
Half time. That's good.
Yeah, so Opportunity Zones, there is definitely some push to get things done faster in those zones.
I don't think Apple Valley is, but Adelanto, this city is.
Yeah.
And it's right on the border, but it is in Adelanto, so.
But sites where, you have time. So one, we do kind of a quick and dirty, what this, how much financing can we put together? We could get like 90% financing through like the government, HUD financing, and then we bring in like a big solar piece to it, and then that would just cover maybe like that 10% loan to value. Loan to cost. And we like to make it 100% finance deal. So at the end of the day, we want to do 100% finance deal if we can.
Okay.
That's really, HUD's getting really aggressive too right now. So they'll do debt coverage ratios at 111. They will run vacancy at 7%. We could do half the project as affordable housing, half of it is market rate. They'll do that, or we could do the whole thing as affordable. Cause the amortization for the HUD loans are 40 years. Interest rate right now is about 5.95. I think that's gonna go down. Downside of HUD financing for construction is that you have prevailing wages, Davis-Bacon. You could mitigate some of that with some modular, some prefab components that you could put into the project, mitigate some of that prevailing wage, Davis-Bacon cost. And then obviously the projects have to, be built by a bondable builder, but that's.
No, you already are.
Oh, we just go, we go hire them, yeah.
Mm.
We go hire the builder. We go hire a builder.
So for these type of projects, Andrew, if
But
you
it's
can
time is the most important, so properties that have been sitting on your books for a long time, and you have some, and you don't have a buyer that's cash today, and you need value to be created and stuff, then that's kind of our cup of tea. But stuff where you could sell it like hotcakes and it's moving fast, we want you to move it fast. We don't want you to just be on our development side, because our I mean, obviously we have an entitlement process which we could expedite. And then we have entitlements, then we have our construction drawings that we do concurrently with the financing. So there's some time involved in that. We could move some of those processes faster than others, but there's a time element to, for us being involved, if we're involved. We've done land banking and sat on land for a long time, got us in trouble here and there by just sitting on too much land. But
Like
what
an
we try to do is
alligator.
we try to close everything with the financing in a perfect world. Sometimes when the market is super hot, you can't do that. You have to land bank it.
Right,
So
right.
it just really depends on what market you're in, what's the time, what's the economy. What's the seller's objectives.
I remember.
Sometimes the seller's objective is different than the broker's objectives. Broker wants to make money next month. The seller, they wants to get their price, whether it's in a month or 6 months or a year from now. But we've lost a lot of projects because, the seller's objectives are different than the broker's objectives, and the broker's just thinking about how do I squeeze a buyer and get him to close in 30 or 60 days and just get him pregnant, squeeze some hard money out of him and get the deal pregnant. And
Right.
so but some of it really just takes time, to build a value and something.
So for now, Ron and Randy is not open to JV with a builder, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So what a solution that I can see is perhaps we bring in private investors and buy these lands, for like a 35% deposit or something, and then work with you in terms of the HUD financing and the solar.
Yeah, whatever. What's good with what I like about doing the HUD deals is they'll tell you up front if they'll finance your deal, because it is quite a bit of a process, but they'll tell you if you show them the market study, they're going to want to probably see the market study, your financing model, your projected cost and stuff like that. They'll say, okay, if you get us all the construction drawings and you bring us a bondable builder and you have a decent management company, they'll fund the deal. There's just a time it takes to process the documents,
Right.
But
process
there's
the
no,
reports.
but there's no requirement how long you own the land, correct?
No,
Oh, perfect. Okay. That's
Yeah.
good.
but it's just about tying it up and then just going through either the city or the county. We probably want to do modular too if we with the HUD to reduce the cost. So we should really look at
The modular home, you mean?
yeah, and maybe even in Vietnam. Do you know any modular builder in Vietnam?
Yeah, Michael knows the manufacturers.
yeah.
He actually
Be-
looking for that right now.
Because
Land.
With
Yeah.
China tariffs.
yeah, China's on.
Yeah, so Vietnam would be a good
Trump
ideal
shit
Yeah,
list.
yeah, yeah.
place.
So it could be Vietnam. We just have to send a building inspector out there, get him approved by the state of California.
Mhm.
So this way, what's nice about the modular stuff is all you have to focus with the city or the county is your foundation and your
Yeah.
utility connection. All the modular stuff is just like, well, you'll have the state HCD and then their.
I'll check with Michael. They might have been approved already.
Yeah, I mean that's good. That helps. That makes it
I
easier.
know of one that's approved, but they're in California, Gilroy,
Okay.
Northern,
Yeah.
Central.
Was that Santa
California.
Clara County, Gilroy?
Not sure.
I think it's Santa.
But it's
Clara.
approved
That's
by the
near Santa-
material, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you can
They're
actually
the
build it
largest
anywhere.
Plant in the States, I think, right now,
Mm-hmm.
for modular homes. One of my
Yeah.
agents,
What's
my
the
good friend is the general manager.
What's the name of the company? Not Autovol, right?
No,
So the modular home works just like a home, right?
They're
It's very similar. It's-
well, they're built almost better than a home.
Wow.
I mean,
Because of the frame is not
well,
wood.
because
and,
remember they also have to transport it on the road.
yeah.
So they're
There's yeah.
they're
So they're more superior than wood and wood frame.
well. When we say modular, it could
Hey,
be any
Robert,
type of frame. It could be wood. It
I
could
got
be
some people here,
like
what's the name
steel,
of your
it-
friend's,
It could be
modular
structural
home
steel.
plan?
Yeah, I'll check with him to see what
modular.
the modular manufacturing that he has.
What
is,
city are they
It's
in?
probably, I would say, steel or aluminum. of
Tracy,
some type.
California.
Structures.
Boxable's another one out of Vegas.
Yeah, I've heard of Boxable. Is Elon Musk an investor in Boxable?
He did
Right.
before, but I don't know if the project take off.
Oh,
Cause I saw the advertisement, of the boxables that he did,
Add up.
and then the like the
Yeah,
tiny
yeah.
modular homes.
they were expensive.
Yeah, and then, years before, they were mentioning about
Okay,
the solar
cool.
roof. Remember that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Bo.
So I don't know whatever happened to that. I don't think that project.
S2 Modular. That's his friend's the general manager. He actually went there and toured it.
I've heard it. I probably went to their website. They sound like
There's not that much shipping. I mean, at least they're not that far.
yeah,
Hours
because there's
drive.
stuff from Idaho. I mean, you got Gurdon.
But then to
Gurdon
get it
out of
here
Idaho.
is gonna cost some money.
Yeah. But I think we take a look at the sites. Let's look at the numbers, just to see does it just. So, my perfect deal is a 100% finance deal where we don't have equity investors.
Mhm.
Sometimes, sometimes what we do is, and it's not in these cases where you have expensive land. We have land. The sellers, do seller carrybacks.
Right.
We do different seller carrybacks, but I think we just, we run it through the model. We take a look at what the HUD rents are right now, expenses, run it tax free, do a whole bunch of secret sauce. And then they work, let's just get the lender comfortable. Once the lender just kind of says, yeah, we could do this deal,
Mhm.
then we go and just run and get the entitlement very quickly.
How long does that take? Year?
No, it could be like 90 days.
No?
That's great. Well, beside their land, I mean.
'Cause we do it through the streamlined processes. So streamlined processes and titles real fast.
And they're pretty, more aggressive here.
Mm.
Yeah, it's so the more because the thing is I don't even want your investor to close on the land unless I know we could get we're really confident we're gonna get the bank financing, right?
Okay.
So obviously we need the entitlements, which is pretty much guaranteed. Then we need to make sure the bank is gonna come in with a construction loan and that there's no issues with that.
Mm.
But,
Now, for you to convince the city to rezone, like, residential to
but
mixed
we
use,
don't,
is that easy?
I think there's enough property where we don't have to rezone.
Mm.
Yeah, this zoning is.
I don't think we need to, I don't think we need to rezone, and sometimes, like, for instance, that commercial one, that was a little bit on the expensive side, but, the commercial one could do, the senior, could be senior apartments or independent living.
The reason why I say that because we own 16.25 acres, and it's right now zoned as residential.
Like single family?
Yeah, we already own it, so we do this. I don't mind sharing profits.
Where is that one?
29 Palm,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and the land is right next to the casino too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
it's a
but,
really nice piece of land.
when you, yeah, so it really depends, so sometimes, something that may be able to be done, if that, the city's okay with it, is that you have it all as one lot and you just all have like tons of rental houses.
One lot, yeah.
So where it gets,
And Airbnb
Where-
is huge down there.
Yes.
Where it gets very difficult is when you do the subdivision and the whole, everything that comes with the subdivision.
Nightmare.
That is a nightmare. So that's everything. So when you could pencil out a deal where you have like single family homes and you could rent them,
Mm.
and it's all under one ownership.
Yeah.
But when you're doing a subdivision, it's just like you have a lot of things you got to involve. You got to put all the
Public
roads
reports.
in, utilities, post bonds.
let's do that and
It's
then
heavy.
do-
It's heavy duty. So you
So
can
think
We
like
have
with
raw
financing?
land subdivisions that are grandfathered in,
Mm.
that, you know, but they didn't have to finish every lot.
Yeah. But yeah, we could take a look at your stuff, Alan, see what, you know, cause it.
So I wish I had more of these, I only got like 3 or 4, I'll send you the ones I showed you.
Yeah,
I think I have
yeah.
one more in Barstow,
Mm.
it's 4 acre by the college,
Mixed zone? Commercial? Mixed zone?
multifamily.
Wow.
I think they want 1.1 for that one, for some reason they got it higher, I don't know. But I know that one has all the utility, let's look at it.
We lost a property in Barstow.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know, something happened and we forgot to pay property tax and bam,
Oh, no.
gone. Pretty bad.
This is one in
Only time we
Barstow.
lost the property to property tax.
The government took it?
Well, no, yeah, it got,
It's a land?
it went through tax sale, yeah,
Oh.
that's like 10 years
That
ago.
means you didn't pay for 5 years then.
Yeah.
Sometimes you own so many land, you forget about it.
Oh my god. It's bad.
So the way if they finance through us,
You
we
didn't
pay the
remember.
tax.
It was
Oh,
5
yeah.
years, right?
Yeah, I mean.
Once
you
they
know,
pay
it's-
off, then it's up to them. So this
Okay.
is the one in Barstow, it's 4.2 acre.
Oh, that's a nicely developed area.
And it's really close to the college, I believe. But they want 1.1 for this, but I know there's sewer here.
Mhm.
Okay,
Uh,
so that's one where,
There's some apartments here.
affordable housing rents are probably very close to market rate rents, so we'd make it a tax-free as always, but tax-free.
So it's
and then-
4.3 acre, right?
4.2,
Okay.
4.18 technically, but they
Okay.
rounded up on this site.
Okay.
And I think that one was, let's see, I think it's also 20 per acre. But if he can work wonders with the city, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the density, you could get more density in there.
33008. Medium density, 20 per acre.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a nice.
Garden style, single family, townhomes, duplexes, triplexes.
So you say HUD can finance up to 90%?
Yeah, I mean, they'll actually finance, I like to say it's 100%, they could finance 100%, but you need to bring in a good solar piece or,
Solar P is doable.
because when HUD allows you to bring the entitled value back into the deal. It's not free money, but, so you buy land and there's a value, entitled value obviously is higher. They allow you to roll back that into the, roll that into the
And you say
deal.
if we have like solar panel, that they will
Oh, yeah.
incorporate 100%? Okay. I
Yeah,
have
because-
friends that manufacture
Because
solar
of
panels.
with the solar, what happens is there's like an investor that comes in,
Mm.
does the solar, doesn't record anything on the property, you get there's an energy benefit that you
Yeah,
get.
yeah.
And so HUD says, oh, that's additional value in the project.
Okay.
So that they count that as value.
My buddy manufactures
Yeah.
solar panel in
So-
Texas. They have a 300 million facilities.
Yeah, so we could do that,
We
or,
can work with them. That's cool.
also we could do like double escrows where you have a group in escrow, right? You have a group in escrow that's getting the entitlements, right?
Mm.
and is in escrow with the owner for a certain amount, and then turns around and sells it to the partnership, whoever the new buyer is,
Got it.
at the higher price.
Okay.
But then that seller could leave money in the deal as like a seller carryback, almost like like an investor in the
Got
deal.
it. Got it. Okay.
So that also looks like, that also could
Okay. Okay. That's a good.
cover
point.
gaps.
Yeah.
So just
We can get investors to put in, let's say, for example, 35%,
yeah. There's different.
and then they can finance with the owners for 65%, and then work with us in terms of getting that entitlement done.
I think there's a lot of ways. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways to do it, but for a few years until Gavin Newsom's out, I want to stay out of the federal estate tax credit until he's gone. Then I'll go back in.
Is Fiona Ma is running for lieutenant governor, right?
Yeah.
Is she going for governor?
Maybe next.
Okay.
She might go.
Because Katie Porter just announced that she's running for governor.
Katie Porter is a
Congresswoman in Irvine.
oh yeah that
Yeah,
one.
she just announced that she's running for governor.
Yeah, so I don't know.
She's running for governor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't.
But Fiona Ma, I saw her on her post. She's running for lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Right.
been running. She's been running for lieutenant.
Mm.
But who knows where?
He's a good friend with Fiona Ma, and I met her through you actually, and we became friends. She became friend with me.
Yeah, she's very nice.
Yeah.
We're a very good contributor.
To the,
She helped me secure 150 million of money.
nice.
But
She loves this area.
I had to give pretty much most of that back just because of just investors falling out.
That's fine.
Big investors falling out that were supposed to be investors. But yeah, so let's take a look at the numbers on these. Like you have like 4 properties, you could send them to Alan or send them to and then we could run some models, talk, I could start talking to the lender, if it makes sense, then we just start, and we'll get them entitled, get them financed.
Just send it to him and let him do the analysis of the numbers.
Yeah, it's not gonna take me long
Yeah.
to.
And then what I'll do is I'll invite the investor to come in to get the land, and then with the land secured, he can do the HUD financing, and then I have partners that does the solar already, so we can just do 100%.
That's fine.
That'll be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
that's-
just on you to make the the process fast for entitlement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, entitlement's only gonna be, depending on the site, I think like 90 days.
90 is fast.
I mean,
Usually
that's
2
if we
years.
have all of our plans, complete, civil plans, all the plans. And the city is not, they're okay that we use a streamlined approval process.
Okay. That's
But, and then what's nice about, so once the land is entitled, also the value bumps up,
fine.
so.
2 or 3 times.
Well, it's kind of relative, but yeah, I mean, it's, some people like buying entitled land, so they prefer if it's entitled. If it aligns with their use,
Mhm.
but let's do that. We have the 4, we could let's do some financial models, see what works best, whether to take one of them or all of them, and then go repeat it. Repeat the process if it's working,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So Ron is here today. You wanna bring him in? Say
Oh,
hello
really?
to-
Oh, who's here? Who's it?
The
The
owner.
owner.
Oh, okay. That's,
Yeah, he just arrived today. I met him for the first time.
That's fine.
I think he's busy with the accountant.
Oh.
They're going through all kinds of stuff, but I'll see.
He looked pretty young for 76, which is good. Your dad is 80, right? 81, 82?
82, yeah.
Yeah.
So
His dad is one of the biggest builder in the 80s.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
over
you
7,000
know
units.
the office building in front of Mastro, the steakhouse. His father used to lease the top 3 floors. He told me the rent is like 500,000 a month.
What?
Yeah, you know
Really?
the silver building
His
in
father
front of
was really
Mastro's?
successful.
Yeah, I didn't. Wow.
He had the top 3 levels right there.
What the?
Yeah, when
In front of Mastro's, that building like this.
yeah.
That's a lot for
crazy.
rent. That's like a
Yeah.
Hong Kong, rent.
Yeah.
So he's the rich second generation.
Well, all his brothers and sisters, his sisters are very talented.
Yeah.
And who's the oldest? He has 2
Yeah.
younger sisters,
Oh,
Yeah.
you're the oldest.
Christine and Nina. Yeah.
Yeah, they are very
we,
smart.
we all got stuck into development training.
He's
Which is a
behind
good
closed
thing.
doors with the accountant.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but it's
That's great. Maybe next time you bring your dad, and
Yeah.
dad can meet with Ron and Randall. Yeah, they're at that similar thing they can talk about.
oh yeah. I mean, land definitely. When I was starting the whole land thing, I was like on the acquisition side. I just focused on land acquisition. And I used to throw all this land at my father. Okay, Dad, what do you think about this one? Dad, what do you think about this one? Why didn't you like this one? And he's like, oh, because of this. Oh, because of this.
That's how you learn.
That's how I learned.
He's a
And
wise
I get-
man. Yeah.
So, but the only reason he was able to give me the feedback because he already lost his last development company, and so he had time to actually listen to me. Because otherwise, otherwise it'd be like, you wouldn't have time for me when he was super successful. But then I threw just hundreds of properties at him and say, oh, what about that? I think this is a good multifamily. So no, it's not. It's like, oh, okay.
What happened to the 5,000 units in Long Beach? Remember years ago you told me about?
Oh, I don't. You know what? There was a group that came in. Yeah, it was going to be a big project, and then
Did they do anything with that now, or?
I didn't go
Didn't follow
back.
up?
I didn't go back and take a look at it. So,
Mhm.
but so sometimes like I'm conservative. Sometimes we swing for the fences and just do really big projects and just see what sticks.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
If I get funding for my homeless city project, I'll have you develop it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my goal, is to build a
let's-
homeless city.
Oh,
Let's do
where?
it.
To gather all the homeless together and then really help them. Because homeless, we have over 800,000 in the United States. Homeless.
There's a lot of money in that too.
Yeah.
There's a lot
So the
of
problem is they don't want a home.
No. Once you pass the law, and they have to move there.
Oh, it's a mandatory.
Yeah, it's a mandatory, and then we treat them humanely, and you have to get them up to their feet again, and then we're gonna build not just the city but manufacturing there, and I'm sure a lot of company like Walmart and will have manufacturing to help the homeless out.
Well,
And
the
they can
cities
work
will
there and live
pay.
there.
Well, the cities will pay for you to take them too, because
We got to
Yeah.
clean up all the city, guys,
Yeah.
because it's
the
really
city-
bad.
Like, yeah, so LA. I mean, I'm sure LA will write a big check if you take away homeless and you keep them away.
Yeah.
You keep them away. They'll probably pay you every month. Keep this homeless person away. We'll pay you $500 a month.
Yeah.
Just
We
they don't
can
come
do
back.
it. It's doable.
Yeah, then you can get a tax credit for that.
Yeah, and
It's
we really
it's
can
very
help them.
competitive.
Because you know what, when we did the study about the homeless, average cities and state paid about $3,300 a month for a homeless person. But that money never gets to them. It goes to all the politicians, programs that they design.
Yeah.
But it never fixed the problem.
Maybe you can do a 4%
Yeah.
bump deal on that.
No. Just I mean, it's just there's a lot of homeless money out there. There's tons of homeless money.
Okay, let's work together and
There's a
then,
lot of homeless money, and I got with this new group. They know a lot of homeless program, but one of them is where you have the homeless. So homeless goes to the hospital, gets the surgery, and the discharge. The government program pays like $7,500 a month to $10,000
wow,
for their rehab,
wow.
and they could do it in multifamily building. They could do it in.
Oh, you're right. One of my friend, a Japanese company, runs that. So they
It's like a rest pit. It's called
Yeah,
rest
yeah.
pit.
They ran they like now they buy a lot of the buildings too with apartments, and then they put each one of the patients in there, and
Yeah.
the government paid 10 or 20,000 a month.
They pay a lot of money.
10 or 20,000 a month.
Yeah.
to have them getting through the rehabs.
Yeah, you net like 100,000 a month for 20 patients.
Yeah.
But you
So-
have to have a doctor. You have to have nurses.
That we can build, and then we can have doctors and
Yeah.
nurses run,
So-
help us run
So
it.
we're trying to
Yeah.
just push that program forward.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of different things that are out there. And the carbon credits and this and that. Because I'm going to send you that website too. I want you to try that website.
Yeah, we want
Plug
to see
in-
that.
Plug in all of your land here to see if it what pops up.
Some would say you got 1 million, 2 million credits.
Yeah.
Be nice.
There's some.
Yeah, I'll plug in my land and see what it says in there.
I'll give you that website. So, take a look at it. We'll do some analysis on what you have here just to see what it looks like from a. I'm hoping interest rates, go down by 100 basis points. That makes life a little bit easier. Gives us some more leverage.
Oh, you don't wanna take their seller financing?
The what?
You don't wanna take their seller financing?
Oh, you guys also have solar financing too?
Seller.
Oh, seller, yeah.
They do 30%.
Yeah, I mean when.
7%.
70?
7.
I remember 30%.
30%.
Oh no, this is the down right here.
It's down payment.
So you can do minimum
Interest rate.
25 down with 7.5% for 7 years.
Yeah.
35 for 7.25, and then 50% for 7% fixed for 7 years.
Yeah, so
Oh.
that's for buying.
So they go
That's
up
just
to
for
50%
acquisition.
down
But when we bring in the construction and permanent
Oh.
financing,
Yeah.
it's really just that's the only lender, unless it's a seller carryback financing, and that's a different.
That's what we do, yeah.
Um,
50% at 7% interest.
Yeah, but that's not soft residual carryback. It's hard carryback, right? It's hard carryback.
I don't know what the difference is.
So the difference is, hard carryback is it's a fixed payment. So fixed payment's going to affect your permanent mortgage, your loan sizing on your first TD. If it's a soft seller carry,
It doesn't show on the paper.
no, you're recorded, but you pay this, you pay that whatever, that 7%. If there's cash flow to pay it. If there's no cash flow, the interest just accrues.
This is a division of an equal 7 years in principal and interest calculated,
Yeah, not interest
and then
only.
divided into 7 year
Yeah.
payments.
So when you put call it just
Hard
when you put that hard payments in front of a construction loan, what you're doing is you're restricting the size of the construction loan.
Mm-hmm.
So
would you consider that hard or soft?
that's hard.
That's
Well,
hard.
hard. It's hard. So, and because there's associated payment,
Mhm.
it's an expense. So you have to just kind of show it as an expense, and then it reduces your loan size
I see.
on the first trust deed.
I see.
Because it's hard, but when it's soft, it doesn't restrict your loan size. You get a larger loan.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in some cases, at the end of the day, it really depends on how flexible the seller is. Does it, how hot property is, and then that's how flexible they're gonna pay. I've done a lot of seller carryback, softs, residual.
Good to know.
Yeah. But there's many ways to.
But if let's say we work with an investor that purchased the land here, get a seller financing for the 7 years, and then you work on the HUD loans or one of those
Yeah.
construction
Uh-huh.
loans, it wouldn't affect the loan value.
Well, it just gets paid off. I mean, it's just that would
Yeah,
get paid off.
we have no
So,
prepayment penalty.
Yeah.
yeah, that just get paid off. So because you also look at if you talk about all hard money, if your first trustee is at call it 5% interest or whatever 6% interest, whatever the interest rate is. If it's less expensive than the other funds, then you just want to use those funds.
Mm.
So just cost of money.
What's the current HUD loan interest right now?
I think it's 5.95ish.
Oh, that's good. can pay off this? This is 7 to 7.5.
It's a 5.95. So, but that's for construction money. Now it's even less. It's maybe between 5 to 5.5% for just permanent financing. If there's like a building on there, it's operating, it's stabilized.
I see.
Yeah. But definitely in distressed assets, anything distressed, or repositioning assets, it's, really interesting stuff. Or if you find very contaminated stuff, we might be able to take a look at that and source funds to clean up the contamination. There's opportunity there. There's a beautiful project we did in LA where it was a developer's, I don't call it hell, but there's a church on the site, historical. Caltrans was dumping toxins, hazardous waste
What?
in the 50s.
Oh, Caltrans, oh my god.
It was legal back then.
Okay.
And then it needed this 80-foot retaining wall. So we got a grant from the state to clean up the hazardous waste for $5 million.
Yeah.
Got another grant for $5 million to pay for a parking structure. And then we moved the historical church. We cut it in half, we put it on wheels, and we moved it.
No.
Yeah, a lot of
Wow,
brain damage.
you did that? Wow.
It was like 5 or 6 years just to
How'd you cut it without destroying
deal with
the
all
whole
those
church?
components before we even start construction.
Wow.
Because you got to work with the county supervisor and then the local committees, and and then we have to make sure like everything, the whole moving of the church had to be approved by historical committee. How we take it apart, how we put it back together, where we're gonna go.
Why not just build a new church? It's more stable, man.
We weren't allowed to. It wasn't allowed to go down.
Oh, geez.
But no one wanted that site. Oh, and then we had this 80-foot retaining wall, and then we had to put these soil nails underneath the next property to hold the wall back. And then the owner of the house where the nails were going under said, "No, you can't put the nails and under my house unless you buy the house." So we have to buy the house. They forced us to buy the house.
Wow.
And put the nails to it.
And they want an arm and a leg for that house, probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, what a task.
Paid a premium. But it's operating 100 units today in LA, and
Nice. You should write a book about this.
oh yeah, it's just
You
a
know,
lot of
This is so many. This is
oh gosh.
this is something that shouldn't be lost in history. Yeah, write a book about it, about constructions.
Maybe teach them classes.
That's right.
Teach them
Contractor classes,
No,
you know?
but I just don't know if I would want to take those as young or old as I am. I don't know if I want to take those type of projects.
So how do you cut the church?
It was they just cut it. They looked at it. They just cut it, but kind of right down the center.
Okay.
And then we lift it out. Have to take it off the foundation.
Yeah.
And then put wheels on it.
Why
And
did
then-
you lift the whole thing instead of cutting it? I don't understand.
Huh? Oh,
You lift the
they
whole
had
thing?
they had to cut it in order to move it. It was too.
I see.
Too big.
It's too bulky as a whole.
Yeah.
I see. Wow, what a task. Which you took videos and pictures.
Oh yeah, there's video. I gotta find it. We have videos. Of it. we have videos of it now, but
So that is good.
yeah. So contaminated sites. There's opportunity in contaminated sites too,
Okay.
because you could get them for free.
Okay, I'll look into it.
You could get them for free, and then you go to the state and you say, "State, you want to clean this site up, right? You have money sitting over there.
Yeah.
We can help you spend that money."
Very cool. Good to know.
Yeah, so contaminated sites, anything distressed. A lot of sometimes distressed. If we have the time to go and deal with the different.
Contaminated, usually owned by private or government.
Oh, it's owned by a lot of different groups.
Uh-huh.
There are a lot of different groups. But it is a very, I don't want to say it's a dangerous area to go, but you got to be very careful as you navigate contaminated sites. you don't want to be responsible for, you don't want to assume the responsibility of the person you bought it from.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
of course you have to be licensed and bonded or something.
That's why there's just contaminated sites. It's like a double-edged sword. It might look really good up front. You might get the grants, but if something happens to someone and you already assumed all the risk,
Mhm.
you could have a big problem with it. So you just have to have a lot of environmental lawyers kind of advise you on.
Those gas station sites that were contaminated used to be a nightmare, and now
Yeah.
they have microbes. Fraction of the time, clean, they.
Oh
they
really?
eat it.
They just inject something in the ground and then
They
it
eat
just
it, spray it, and then it just goes in and eats it,
Nice.
the microbes.
One of my friends' neighborhood, the whole thing was infected on the ground because it was like an oil field. So they have to remove all the oil field and then have all the residents move out of it.
Yeah.
But somehow they were able to clean up.
Contamination is there's, and then next to railroads, if you ever build next to a railroad, there's always a lot of the time there's arsenic. I don't know, in the old days there's just a lot of contamination came off railroads, and there's a lot of arsenic next to railroads.
From the rusty material.
Yeah, and it becomes a problem if you get into you start getting into like the phase 1, phase 2, and you start finding these chemicals or contaminants, and they're like, okay.
That's when the environmental report comes in, right? That's what it
Well, yeah, so you get your phase 1, and phase 1 says, oh, you should go test the soil over here and there. We saw some spots. Or there was a auto dealer, there was dry cleaners, whatever it is. And then they're like, go take some core samples, and then but the environmental could be a headache. In a lot of cases, it's just a headache because you have environmental consultants for lenders and then environmental consultants for your equity investors, and they all have different bars and standards of what they want to know and how you're going to deal with the issue and the cost of mitigating all of that problem.
What other scenario that you experienced?
Many environmental,
Yeah.
many,
Wow.
like at least on 20 sites.
Wow.
20,
so
30
about the 55 property that you personally built,
You know,
20 of them
I think
are
we did closer to 7. We did 7, like maybe closer to 70.
okay.
But yeah, but out of let's say the ones that we've owned, maybe 20 of them have some sort of environmental issue.
But minor.
Some of them minor, some of them more major, like because
Not like a church in LA.
when they find arsenic, right? When you have arsenic, or any contamination, you have to keep on digging until
Oh.
there's
man.
no more.
Oh, really? So how many feet do you have to go down?
And then you're always worried about the environmental companies screwing you because they could be like, yeah, we haven't found it. We keep on finding it.
Right.
You have to have people monitor them
Yeah.
to make sure they're not just
They're raping you.
exporting toxins that are not toxic.
Right.
So, it's pretty crazy when it gets to the environmental, but a lot of the times, I mean, there are solutions if you have the budget, but you have to show really savvy investors and lenders. They know exactly. I mean, they make you prepare for the worst, even though it might not be the worst. So like, let's say the work they think the analysts are like, oh, it's going to be $500,000 to clean it up. They might tell you reserve $1 million, and if you clean it up for $500,000, great. You can reallocate the money to something else. They don't want you to have a shortfall because of the environmental cleanups and stuff like that. But a lot of the old buildings, you got lead and asbestos. That's like constant. You always get the lead and asbestos in the old buildings. Stuff in the ground. San Francisco has a lot of contamination and a lot of the soil. I mean, in all the fire areas over there, like in the areas with the fires. They're trying to close their eye to a lot of that contamination, which, because they know it's a huge cost, but I mean that could cost them lawsuits in the future if people start developing cancer because they didn't remove certain contaminants that they knew are there and they just chose not to test.
Right.
That sounds like it seemed like lawsuits for the future.
So all the Pacific Palisades and the Easton and all that, the rebuilding process has to go through the environmental process, right? Or you think it's easy?
Not exact. They're gonna close their eyes to a lot of it.
Okay. Have you had anyone approach you to rebuild in those areas?
No.
Would you want to build there? I mean, help them build?
I mean,
I'm very sorry, I have to leave now to pick up my son.
okay. Well.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a picture together.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
Really quick, just a few seconds.
靠近哪都是呢。
Over here in this side.
在车里，在车里啊，问题吗？